All right, welcome back to King Forex Trading Mastery. If this is your first time, you'll be checking on our channel. Make sure you click the subscribe button and ensure you activate the bell icon so that you can be notified whenever we upload any new content. And feel free to check our channel for other videos that might be of help to you. All right, so let's get started with this week analysis. So this week analysis, we have a lot of setup that is coming up. So for your information, for those of you who are just checking on the on our channel for the first time, this strategy you are looking right in front of you is called the King strategy. This is the combination of moving average and stochastic and RSI. All right. So if you really want to learn more about this strategy, make sure you watch this video to the end. So there's going to be a link, a recommendation at the end of this video where you can click to watch more and learn more about the strategy. So you're going to learn more on how to take trade with the strategy, the parameters, and everything you need to know concerning the strategy. Then you can come back and rewatch this analysis. So this analysis is what we give out every week. Okay. So and this has been a lot of help to a lot of traders out there. So feel free to watch till the end. All right. So let's get started in this week analysis. Okay, this analysis is between June 21st to June 25th, 2021. Okay, Monday, June 21st to Friday, June 25th, 2021. All right, so the first pair I'm going to be looking at right now. But before I go ahead, it is important for me to let you know that this strategy works on any time frame. But we have chosen 1 hour as our entry time frame. Okay, why we choose H4 as our filter time frame. So we're going to be analyzing from weekly down to 1 hour. All right, so 1 hour is our entry time frame, so take note of that. So the first pair I'm going to be looking at right now is AUD Swiss franc. It's AUD Swiss franc. So AUD Swiss franc right now, we can see it is currently sell biased based on H1 and H4. So coming to weekly, so we can see we have a weekly candle closed with a bearish candle. So this tells us that the next coming week we may still have some push down. All right. So if the push down is probably going to happen, we expect it to come down to where we have this red line, okay, at the red support at 0.6745. So the daily candle also gives us a red candle, okay, which shows a momentum to the downside. So with this in mind, we will expect this to keep pushing down according to the weekly time frame. But before that, we expect price to approach the next support, which is on daily time frame, where we have this green the green support at 0.6869. Okay, so that's going to be our first target, and if this level get broken, we are heading on to the red support. So coming to our entry time frame, we are currently on to the downside, so we want to wait for the pullback to happen. Wait for the pullback to happen. Take your sell entry to the downside. Take your sell entry to the downside, and our first profit is going to be at the green support. So AUD Swiss franc, look for a sell. AUD Swiss franc, look for a sell. AUD JPY is currently to the downside according to the strategy. So coming to the weekly, we sure have the weekly candle close with a strong bearish candlestick, so which is a strong indication to us that there is a huge momentum to the downside on AUD JPY. So with this in mind, during this coming week, we expect AUD JPY to drop down to where we have the red support at 80.56. All right, during this coming week. So let's go the daily. the daily, you can see we have a strong momentum candle to the downside. So with this in mind, we may see this pair to drop down towards the red support. All right, so before that we have the green support, which is very near. So that's going to be our first target at 81.92. All right, on the daily time frame. So with this in mind, we can see it's already oversold. So we definitely want to wait for pullback on this pair. Wait for pullback on this pair. Catch your sell entry to the downside and take your first profit before the green support at 81.96. And if that level get broken, we are heading to the red support. So AUDJPY, look for a sell. AUDJPY, look for a sell. AUDUSD is currently sell bias also. So the weekly candle, we see that close with a strong bearish candlestick, just the same way we have it on JPY, AUDJPY. So with this in mind, we're expecting this momentum to continue during this coming week. So if this momentum continues, we're expecting it to move forward to drop down to 0.7010, which is at this red support. Okay, and as a matter of fact, I use the red support on the weekly, while the green support is on daily and the lower time frames. All right, so coming to daily time frame, we have the next support right here at the green support at 0.7369. Okay, and we can see a strong momentum candle, bearish candle to the downside. So a strong indication to us that we should expect this pair to keep dropping during this coming week. All right, so AUDUSD, we want to wait for the pullback to happen. Wait for the pullback to happen towards the 120 moving average. Then catch your sell entry to the downside. Catch your sell entry and take your first profit before the green support. And if that level get broken, of course, we are heading to the red support. So AUDUSD is good for a sell. AUDUSD, look for a sell. AUDNZD is the next pair I'm going to be looking at. Okay, AUDNZD is currently buy bias right now, but we can see on the weekly candle, we can see we have some indecision candle and inside buy, as a matter of fact. So we're expecting to see the direction this pair is going to move. Okay, we are still expecting to see the direction this pair is going to move because AUD is weak. Okay, and NZD is also weak, but we expect AUD to go weaker. So we expect this to either go up or down, but we are going to pay close attention to that. So if this keeps going up, we expect it to push up to where we have the red support at 1.0936. All right, if it should keep pushing up. And on the daily side, we can see this is not a healthy bullish candle, as we can see some rejection on the downside, but overall we are still buy bias on this pair. But the candle that the hourly candle that closed may give us may invalidate this setup, so we want to be careful with this setup. So if the push up happens to the upside, we want to take our buy. We want to take our buy and exit our entry before the green resistance at 1.0839. All right, but we want to be careful with AUDNZD. AUDNZD is not a good pair to look out for except everything fall in place properly. All right, so be careful with that pair. AUDNZD is still good for a buy. Swiss franc JPY is currently sell bias. Okay, so the weekly candle, we see a strong bearish candlestick to the downside, a strong indication to us that this has higher possibility of to keep dropping during this coming week. So the weekly candle, we expect it to drop down to the red support at 117.60. All right, for the weekly. move. So coming to the week, the daily candle, we expect this to keep pushing down. As we can see, the momentum is already in place to the downside. So we expect this to the next we expect it to drop down to this green support at 118.92, and if that level get broken, we are of course moving to the red support. Okay, so Swiss franc JPY, we wait for the pullback and catch your sell entry to the downside and exit your trade before the green support. Swiss franc JPY, look for a sell. CAD JPY, CAD JPY, this is currently sell bias as well. So with this in mind, we want to expect this to keep pushing down. We can see right now the momentum is strong to the downside on CAD JPY. So this has higher possibility, 80% assurance that it may drop down to 86.23. All right, it may drop down to 86.23 during this coming week. Okay, so that's going to be our weekly target. So the daily target also show us the same thing. So this may help this pair to keep pushing down, but we can see on the daily, CAD JPY is currently sitting at a strong support, okay, an obvious support area. So we want to be careful. So once market opens, but we expect this to break the level. So once market opens, we wait for the pullback for the support to be respected, okay. Then on its move down, on its way down, we catch the sell entry and take our first profit before the green support. And once this level get broken, we are heading down to the red support. All right, so guys, pay close attention to that. CAD JPY is good for a sell. CAD JPY is good for a sell. Euro AUD, Euro AUD is already pushing up. So the weekly candle will see a strong momentum candle, all right, to the upside. For the weekly candle, it's closed in green. So with this, we may expect this to keep pushing up, either to touch the red moving average, or to break above it and touch the red resistance. Okay, either of the two during this coming week, but we surely expect this to push up a little bit more. So the daily candle, we see that it has a strong push to the upside, and it has currently broken a resistance, as you can see right now. So an indication that that tells us that this pair is going to push up some more during this coming week. So coming to our entry time frame, we want to expect this to pull back, then take your trade. Take your trade. You can see a level has been broken already. So our next daily target is going to be at the upper green resistance at 1.5929. All right, so that's going to be our target. And if that level get broken, we are heading to the upside. So Euro AUD is good for a buy. It's a strong pair. You should look for a buy. Euro AUD, look for a buy. Euro JPY. Euro JPY is on the downside with a strong momentum candle that closed last Friday. All right. So with this in mind, we expect JPY pairs to keep pushing down and USD pairs to keep going in favor of USD. So Euro JPY expected to push down to the red support at 128.36. All right, during this coming week. So the daily candle shows that this may keep pushing down as well, but we can see a structure has been broken right here. This is a confirmation to us that price is heading to the downside. So the next support right here is at this green level, at this area, 129.63 is the next support. All right, and if that level get broken, we go into the red support. So Coming back to the entry time frame, which is H1, wait for the pullback, cash your sell entry. Wait for the pullback, cash your sell entry, and take your profit before this level. All right. So Euro JPY, look for a sell. Euro JPY, it's good for a sell. Euro NZD is my next pair. So we are currently bullish on the Euro NZD. So the weekly candle closed with a strong momentum candle so far. So with this in mind, we expect this momentum to continue to move higher to the red resistance at 1.7353 during this coming week. All right, so that's the weekly target. So the daily target, we can see the daily candle close with a bullish engulfing candle, so we may expect this to push up to 1.7229 on the daily side. All right, so that's going to be our first target. So coming to our entry time frame, wait for the pullback. Okay, the pullback is already showing up, so wait for the pullback, then catch your buy entry and get out before the green resistance at 1.7229. all right. Euro NZD is good for a buy. Euro NZD, look for a buy. Euro Swiss franc, Euro Swiss franc is also to the upside. The weekly candle, we have a perfect and bullish engulfing candlestick. So with this in mind, we may see this pair push up to this green resistance, sorry, the red resistance at 1.1027 during this coming week. Okay, so that's the weekly target. The daily target is where we have this green resistance at 1.0979 for the daily target. Okay, so coming to the entry time frame, we wait for the pullback to happen to the downside, then take your trade. All right, take your buy trade and exit before 1.0979 for the for your first profit. All right, so Euro Swiss franc is good to look for a buy. Euro Swiss franc, look for a buy. Euro USD is my next pair right now, so it's currently pushing down seriously. So with this in mind, coming to the weekly time frame, we see a strong candlestick dropping, indicating to us that this pair is still going to push down some more during this coming week. All right, so the red support at 1.1710 is going to be our first target. All right, it's going to be our first target, and if that level gets broken, we expect it to keep push down more and more. So coming to daily, is currently sitting at a support at this green level. So with this support, this may give us the pullback. Okay, may give us the pullback on Euro USD. Then on its way down, we catch the sell entry and exit your trade before the green support. And once that level get broken, we are looking forward to head to touch 1.1710 at the red support. Okay, so Euro USD, it's a good one to sell, a good pair to sell. Euro USD, GJ, GBP JPY. Okay, we have a structure to the downside. Several structures have been broken. Structure got broken here, right here, right here. So we expect this pair to keep pushing down. So the weekly candle, the same thing we have on the Euro USD. We have a good momentum on the JPY pairs to the downside. So the weekly candle closed with a perfect bearish momentum candle. So we are undoubtedly believe this may drop down to the red support at 148.96 during this coming week due to the momentum on the weekly candle. So coming to the daily candle, we can see this is currently sitting at a support right now Okay, it's currently sitting at a support. So the support may have this pullback first before the drop continues. Okay, this support may effect this to pull back first before the drops continue. So as market opens, we want to wait for the pullback. Wait for the pullback, catch your sell entry, exit your trade before this green support, and if once that level get broken, let's head on to the red support at 148.96. All right, so GJ is a good one to look for a sell. GJ, look for a sell. GU, GBP USD, okay, so it's currently sell bias, a strong momentum to the downside. So the weekly candle, the same structure we have on GJ is what we have, almost the same thing is what we have on GU. So the weekly candle closed with a strong momentum candle to the downside, a pure indication to us that we should look for more sell. Okay, so and we expect this to drop down to this red support at 1.3455 at the red support. Okay, so coming to daily candle, so this is currently sitting at a support right now, but the daily candle closed with a strong bearish candle also. So with this in mind, we expect this pair to even push down a little bit more to this green support at 1.3672. Okay, as this is the daily support area. All right, we can see price is already broken this support, so we're expecting it to drop down to 1.3672 on the daily side. All right, so our entry time frame, we want to wait for the pullback to happen. We wait for the pullback to happen. We take our sell trade and exit before the green support. All right, so GBP USD is good to look for a buy. GU, look for a sell. I beg your pardon. GU, look for a sell. Sell GU. Okay, GN, GBP NZD. Right now, NZD is weak. GBP is also not so weak. It's not so strong. It's neutral. So GBP NZD, we see it's buy bias. So the weekly candle, we see it close in green. So we may expect this to keep pushing up, and we have seen a level get broken already. So a clear indication that this pair is going to keep pushing up during this coming week. So we expect it to push up to the red resistance at 2.0252 during this coming week. So coming to the daily, so we have a bullish candlestick, so with some rejection. So the rejection may cause price to pull back a little bit before the continuation to the upside. So right now we can see it's already pulling back, so let's wait for the pullback. Wait for the pullback, catch your buy entry, catch your buy entry, okay, and exit before this green resistance at 2.0058. All right, so on that level get broken, we are moving up. So GN, look for a buy. GBP NZD, look for a buy. GA, almost the same structure with GN, is currently to the upside. So the weekly candle closed in green, okay, and we have seen a structure being broken right here. So a strong and strong evidence to us that this pair is most likely going to continue pushing up. All right, okay, but we don't expect okay, we expect this, we will look out for this to keep pushing up. Okay, during this coming week, the red resistance is our target, which is 1.8670, because GBP is not so strong. All right, so coming to the daily side of it, we see a rejection on this. All right, we see a rejection, but this is currently sitting at another support, as we can see right now. So guys, we want to be careful with this pair as well. I hope that is very, very clear. We want to be careful with this pair as well, but it's currently good to look for a buy. So once the cross happen, we take our trade to the upside and take the small profit before this green resistance, because we may have a drop once price goes back there. We may have a drop again, or it will continue to push up. So be careful with that pair, all right? Just the same way with AUD NZD. Be careful with GA as well. So GBP AUD, look for a buy. G-Chef. G-Chef is currently to the upside. Okay, the weekly candle, we see it close as a bullish engulfing candlestick. So a clear indication that tells us this may keep pushing up. Okay, and if this is going to keep pushing up and it breaks this this resistance right here, we're expecting it to push up to the red resistance at 1.3059. All right, so the daily candle, we see an inside bar right now, so not a perfect inside bar anyway. Okay, so this is not so clear, so we want to be careful with this pair as well, because it's not so clear to us right now. So we always be careful with a pair that is not clear, but right now it is currently buy biased. So once the cross happens to the upside, we take it and we take our profit before the green resistance at 1.2819. G-Chef, GBP Swiss franc, look for a buy. G-Chef, look for a buy. NZD USD is the next pair I'm going to talk about. NZD is weak, USD is strong. So it's currently sell bias, while the weekly candle, we see it close in a strong momentum to the downside. So we expect this to touch this level, to touch the red level at 0.6785. All right, to touch the red support area during this coming week. So coming to the daily, the same thing happened, a strong momentum candle to the downside, and we have seen a structure being broken right here. So another confirmation, another confluence that tells us that this is going to keep pushing down during this coming week. Okay, so the red support is going to be our target. All right, so coming to daily, sorry, entry time frame, which is 1 hour, we wait for the pullback, we catch the sell entry to the downside. Catch the sell entry to the downside. So NZD USD is good to sell. NZD USD is good to sell. NZD JPY, right now the same structure we have on NZD USD is what we have on NZD JPY. So we look for a sell on NZD JPY. See, look at a strong momentum candle closed last week. The weekly candle is a strong momentum candle. It is undoubtedly that this we have the room to drop down to the red support at 73.53 during this coming week. All right, so the daily candle, we see that it also has a strong momentum to the downside. All right, so with this, we expect this to come and touch this support first, then head on to the red support. So coming to our entry time frame, your first thing is to wait for the pullback, take your sell trade, and expect to take part of your profit before the green support at 75.62. Okay, so NZD JPY is also a good one to look for a sell. NZD JPY, look for a sell. Next thing I'm going to talk about the NZD Swiss franc. NZD Swiss franc is currently ranging on the entry time frame, but right now it is still sell bias. So the weekly candle, we see some rejection. The weekly candle closed in red, but we can see some rejection from the upside to the downside of the candle. So and right now this is currently sitting at a support. So we want to be careful, but with the rejection from the candle giving us an indecision candle tells us that this may keep pushing down. So, and if that happens, we expect it to drop down to 0.6312 during this coming week. So the daily candle, we see this is not a perfectly structured candle right now. So with that in mind, we can see it's sitting at a support. So we want to wait for the pullback to happen. So guys, be careful with this trade also. It is not a good one. It's not a good setup as well. So if the cross happened, take your sell trade to the downside and exit before the green support at 0.6388. All right, I hope that is very, very clear. Not a good one, not a good setup. So NZD Swiss franc is still good to look for a sell. The next plan to talk about is USD JPY. USD JPY is currently pushing up. Okay, USD is the most strongest pair in the last few days, and I believe we believe it should continue its momentum. Okay, so right now USD JPY is currently to the upside according to our entry time frame. So coming to the weekly time frame, we see a resistance has been retested and with some rejection. So with this, but this pair on weekly candle closed with a green candle with some rejection. So the rejection may cause it to pull down a little bit more during this coming week. So if that happens and the red resistance get broken eventually, we are heading to the red resistance if the green resistance get broken. All right, so the daily candle we see a green candle, but not a healthy one. So with this in mind, we want to be careful with this pair, guys. Okay, because this pair has returned from a significant resistance area. So but nevertheless, we expect this to pull up. If this should push up, you want to take your buy trade and expect to push out before this green resistance at 110.89. all right, so USD JPY, look for a buy, but you also want to be careful with that a little bit because JPY is also strong, but I believe USD will keep its trend. So USD JPY, look for a buy. USD Swiss franc is currently buy bias. So the weekly candle is strong bullish candlestick. So this tells me that this pair is going to come to this other block, okay, which is at this red resistance at 0.9371. all right, during this coming week. So because of the momentum, the appearance of the momentum in the candle, and another thing is it's an engulfing candlestick to the upside. So the daily candle, we see that this is trending to the upside with a strong momentum approaching the upside. So with this, we want to wait for a pullback. Okay, the proper pullback is what is the most important thing. Then take your buy trade to the upside and expect to catch out before the red resistance, all right, which is at 0.9371. all right, so USD Swiss franc, look for a buy. USD Swiss franc, look for a buy. USD card is currently buy bias right now. So the same structure we have on USD Swiss franc is what we have on USD CAD. So we expect this to pull up during this coming week because the weekly candle closed with a strong momentum candlestick, which is with a healthy body. So with this, we expect this during this coming week to pull up to touch the red resistance as 1.2955 during this coming week. Okay, that's the weekly target. Coming to the daily target, we see that this is currently pushing up, also has a healthy candle on daily as well. Okay, so if this continues, we expect this to pull up to the green resistance at 1.2645. all right, so coming to our entry time frame, wait for the pullback. It's most important. then catch your buy trade to the upside and exit before the green resistance. All right, USD card, it's a good one to look for a buy. Now gold is the last pair I'm going to talk about. Gold is also dropping. USD is strong, okay, which means if USD is stronger than JPY, it means gold is going to drop. So USD is strong, so we expect this to keep pushing down. So the weekly candle closed with a strong momentum candle, okay, and it's currently sitting at a support. So but we expect this support to get broken due to the momentum in the candle. So if that happens, we expect it to drop down to the red support at 1678.13, all right, during this coming week, okay. And coming to the daily side, we see this as a bearish candlestick, okay, with some rejection from the upside to the downside. It's a clear indication that price was rejected from the upside to the downside. So this tells us that this may keep pushing down during this coming week, okay. But be mindful, it is currently sitting at a support, so the support may cause this to pull back, which is what we also need before we take the trade. So we wait for the pullback, then we catch the entry. All right, we catch the entry and exit the trade before the green support at 1759.05. I hope that is clear, guys. And if this level get broken, we are heading to the red support at 1678.13. I hope this is very, very clear, guys. So we have a lot of pairs setting up already. All right, 2 weeks ago, a lot of pairs were ranging, okay. We couldn't make a lot of money with this strategy. A lot of pairs were ranging, but right now a lot of pairs are setting up for us. So a quick recap is this: AUD Swiss franc, look for a sell. AUD JPY, look for a sell. AUD USD, sell. AUD NZD, buy. Swiss franc JPY, sell. CAD JPY, sell. Euro AUD, buy. Euro JPY, sell. Euro NZD, buy. Euro Swiss franc, look for a buy. Euro USD, sell. GBP JPY, sell. GBP USD, sell. GBP NZD, buy. GBP AUD, buy. GBP Swiss franc, look for a buy. NZD USD, sell. NZD JPY, sell. NZD Swiss franc, sell. USD JPY, buy. USD Swiss franc, buy. USD card, buy. Gold, sell. So guys, that's all I have for you. The weak pairs for the week according to this strategy is AUD, NZD, and Canadian dollars. The weak pair for the week according to these strategies are AUD, NZD, and Canadian dollars. While the strong ones we are able to spot are JPY and USD. JPY and USD. We also expect GBP to go strong, okay, but currently it is still neutral. So that is all I have for you guys. Once again, for those of you who are watching this for the first time, there's a link right after this section to learn more about this strategy. Click on that link. You see a link called the King strategy. Okay, click on it, learn more about how to use the strategy, then come back to this analysis and utilize it. All right, so if you have not subscribed, do not forget, make sure you click that red button below and ensure you activate the bell icon, all right, so that you can be notified whenever we upload any new content. So thank you so much, guys, for having me. I'm going to see you guys doing the midweek analysis or next week analysis. Bye bye for now and happy trading.